Welcome back, everyone. This is my full breakdown of House of the Dragon Season 3, Episode 6. Lots of Easter eggs, book references, and a few wait what moments. So let's break it all down. We're saying goodbye to one of the biggest villains on the show. His plot armor finally ran out. Criston Cole. The episode title, The Falcon and the Fawn, ties into the City Watch and the shadowy faceless men now operating in King's Landing. One of them tells Daemon there are many of them, everywhere, loyal to no one, meaning killing one changes nothing. That's bad news for Rhaenyra on two fronts. She can't stop an assassin she can't identify, and it hints at a wider rebellion building against her. The opening also shows more of these faceless men killing gold cloaks, which ties into the recurring image of the tapestry unraveling, a metaphor for the realm tearing itself apart in the dance of the dragons. Long-running fan theory says Rhaenyra is the one weaving that tapestry each week since she can see the future. This episode adds more weight to that idea. The episode opens with the Butcher's Ball, a big moment pulled from the books. Criston Cole and his men are lured into a trap by the Rivermen and the Winter Wolves, who use a handful of real dead bodies as bait to draw him out to investigate. Once he's exposed, they reveal their true numbers and surround him completely. No escape. Oscar Tully gets a standout moment here, confronting Cole directly. Cole, sensing the end, pulls out the token Alicent was once forced to give him, though by now she'd long stopped caring about him. He asks for an honorable one-on-one fight. They deny him that, and it's Alan's mother, Baela, who ultimately puts him down. No songs will be sung about Criston Cole. Back at the Red Keep, guards find Alicent and Rhaenyra, who'd been trapped behind sealed secret passages, likely boarded up after the blood and cheese incident to stop future assassins. In the small council, Daemon completely unravels over the gold cloak killings, wanting to burn every green he can find, especially Aemond and Tumbleton. Nobody backs him. Ironically, Rhaenyra is the level-headed one here, a rare role reversal since it's usually the other way around. Daemon starts justifying Rhaenyra's cause through prophecy. The prince that was promised, the Velaryon dagger, the long night, comparing it to Aegon the Conqueror burning those who refuse to bend the knee. Rhaenyra compromises by sending assassins after Aemond instead. She also asks Corlys for more Valyrian troops to shore up the city, since unrest, faceless men, and the loss of the gold cloaks are all making King's Landing more dangerous by the day. She meets with the Baratheons next. Lord Boros doesn't show up personally. His excuse is that he's fighting the Vulture King down south. This is a real deep-cut book reference. There have been multiple Vulture Kings across Targaryen history, each a rebel rising against the Iron Throne. Rhaenyra, growing paranoid, assumes Boros is lying. He isn't, but she still agrees to use Baratheon cloaks for her assassins. We get a lighter moment with Vermithor and Silverwing nuzzling. They're a bonded pair from their former rider's marriage, just like Syrax and Caraxes earlier this season. But the real point of the scene is Ulf White venting to Hugh Hammer about how miserable Dragonseed life has become. That conversation plants the seed, no pun intended, for Hugh sneaking into the city later to check on his wife. A decision that ends badly, with guards spotting them and putting Hugh in serious danger going forward. Rhaenyra confronts Alicent over the escape attempt. Alicent reveals Rhaenyra is pregnant, and Rhaenyra confirms that if the child is male, it will have to be killed, confirming earlier fears. Mysaria, meanwhile, lies to Rhaenyra about knowing of the pregnancy, suggesting Alicent has successfully turned her, at least partly. Daemon tries to rally the surviving gold cloaks to find the faceless men responsible for the killings, but they're starting to desert, unpaid, unfed, and unwilling to defy Rhaenyra's orders to help him. Alan meets with Corlys outside the city, who's busy executing captured Triarchy men. Corlys refuses to send more troops to Rhaenyra directly, but tells Alan he can offer his own men instead. He also warns that Tywin Lannister is alive and at Rook's Rest, setting up the next major plot thread. At Harrenhal, Aemond has mostly recovered and wants to leave to find Vhagar. Alys Rivers tries everything to convince him to stay, speaking in riddles about prophecy, the old gods, and the God's Eye. She frames Vhagar's absence as a decoy. The dragon draws attention so no one notices Aemond isn't with her. She reminds him that charging out alone against Rhaenyra's 6 dragons is suicide. Then she shows him 5 ancient dragon eggs from one of Dreamfire's old clutches, a serious book deep cut since Dreamfire, written centuries ago by Princess Rhaenyra, later by Helaena in the present, is also the origin of Daenerys's 3 eggs in the books, though from an earlier separate clutch. Alys leans hard into her pitch. They're both cursed. They could build something new together, a new dynasty by the god's eye. Aemond can feel warmth from the eggs, a sign of dragon rider bonding, the same phenomenon Daenerys experienced with her own eggs. It's a clear seduction attempt aimed at keeping Aemond and Harrenhal under her control. In the Vale, Rhaenyra spots her sister Baela flying past while searching for Vhagar and Aemond on Rhaenyra's orders and tries to catch up, but misses her. Lady Jane slaps her for the risk she took and threatens to reveal her if she does it again, a reminder of just how dangerous discovery would be. It's mostly there to remind us Rhaenyra, believed dead, is still alive and will likely resurface later. Back at the Red Keep, Alan meets his half-sister Baela, asking her to help mend fences with their father Corlys. The two bond over having difficult fathers. Daemon barely acknowledges Baela exists most seasons, before sharing an awkward, book-motivated kiss, hinting at a future relationship between them. Gwaine Hightower arrives at Tumbleton and hears the full account of what's happened. He argues the fight is hopeless and wants to pull out, clashing hard with Aemond, who's openly misogynistic about Rhaenyra and needles Gwaine with homophobic jabs. Darren, however, likes Gwaine and confides that he wants nothing to do with Aemond's plan to crown him king. He'd rather step back and let Gwaine, next in line for Hightower, take over when, as expected, Aemond dies in the coming fighting. When Baratheon assassins show up faking loyalty, Gwaine is the one who spots them as fakes and takes them out, making him arguably the MVP of the episode. Aemond, all bluster, gets visibly squeamish and vomits at the sight of blood. Ironic, given he'd just mocked Rhaenyra for being too womanly to handle violence. Back at King's Landing, Helaena is shown weaving more tapestries, this time depicting Aemond lying in a pool of blood, likely foreshadowing Alicent's planned trip to Harrenhal next episode, suggesting Helaena has already foreseen it. Alicent meets Rhaenyra again, striking a deal. She'll help track down Aemond, revealing he's been at Harrenhal the whole time on her orders, in exchange for help protecting Helaena. In the process, Rhaenyra learns for the first time that Helaena is a dragon dreamer, someone whose visions show the future, much like the legendary Daenerys the Dreamer, who foresaw the doom of Valyria. It's a quiet but important lore reveal. Multiple characters have been able to see the future all along, and almost no one has been listening. Alicent also opens up to Helaena about why she was married to her own brother Aegon, revealing it was Otto Hightower's decision, one Alicent regrets but didn't fight hard enough against at the time. Aemond sends the Baratheon cloaks back to Rhaenyra as a taunt, mocking her failed assassination attempt. And in the episode's final gut punch, Corlys Velaryon appears to be killed by Sir John Roxton and Green Loyalists after sending his own men back toward King's Landing. A major departure from his book storyline if that's really what happened. That's the full breakdown. Let me know in the comments what you think happened to Corlys, who you think went down the moon door, and any Easter eggs I might have missed. My Episode 7 trailer reaction video is coming next, followed by the full breakdown after it airs. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.